Yo, what's poppin'? Brother Roberts.
What's up, family, family, family? It has been too long. I think that even with our beautiful brother, BB Nolan, we definitely want to honor
Yeah,
a pillar in
definitely.
our community, getting started. I think a lot of times my sister and I was talking about
Mhm.
being present, and what did that really mean in our community? So we definitely want to honor Mr. Nolan, all
Absolutely.
of the wonderful work that he was diligently engaged in, all the efforts that he really, really strived to make happen in our community.
Yeah.
One of the most important things is what's next. When you talk about being present, some years ago I had mentioned to him about, some of the leadership that was at Burston,
Hmm.
and not so much who would take over or about him and others engaging in mentorship for
Yep.
leadership. You know, he was constantly building some things. Wasn't really focused on that piece, and I think this is an example that we need to take advantage of about being present, and
Absolutely.
that's what we want to talk about tonight. I am gonna also definitely want to say hello to my beautiful queen and her family and her king. I miss you guys in the community. I didn't know how much I was connected to the community going through my sickness. I have stage 2 prostate cancer. I kind of want to walk you guys through that, and then I'm having a hip replacement. My right hip replaced Monday morning at 6:45 in the morning. I will be on the chopping block, getting ready to get me a bionic hip so I can roller skate and get on my motorcycle. No, I'm just kidding.
You gonna
Anyway,
get $1 billion
that's
plan.
terrible. That's terrible.
The
But
big
again, I want to throw it over to my queen and say, hello, queen. Say hello to our community.
hello, Brother Roberts. We miss that handsome face. We miss that knowledge. We miss that energy. We miss everything. We just miss seeing you. We absolutely do. And we are so excited to have you back this evening before you go out for a little bit. I do want to
Yes, ma'am.
my condolences to BB Nolan family. It's definitely a tragic loss for the city. I also want to say, you all, let's touch and agree at 6:45 a.m. on Monday and say a prayer for Brother Roberts because he's going under the knife to go get his bionic hip.
Yeah.
We are putting it out to the universe that all is well, but we all want to touch and agree and make sure that we are praying that same prayer at 6:45 a.m. 12:19.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And, piggybacking on what you said also about Brother Nolan, we had talked briefly about what does it mean to be present. And
Yep.
then when you think about being present, capacity building, legacy building. I
Hmm.
think that's something that we're going to have to wrap ourselves around moving into this new vibration, what's going on around us. I think it's sad when you think about Takeoff, the young man that was murdered, valued at $26 million,
Yep.
left no will, mother and father beefing. When you think about our community across the board, when we don't have things that we use, mean this, guys, we use things every day from restaurants, roller rinks, hair care,
Yep.
everything that we use every day. We must be focusing on capacity building, leveraging what we have with one another,
Hmm.
where we are building in our community our own stores, our own hotels. Those things are critical, guys. And we're going to have to start really calling people out. I think it's very important. People get mad at Umar Johnson sometimes about his delivery. But think about it. We are still waiting on that store on the north side to be built, guys.
Hmm.
and they didn't spend almost $1 billion downtown. That's being present. When you think about what does it mean to be present in our community, other folks are present in their community and what they are building in their community.
Yeah.
They are building for a legacy for their children. A lot of times we send our kids to school and to college to go work for somebody else and not build legacy, guys. Y'all think about that. What is that about, man? We're going to have to flip this. And me, again, doing a lot of reading. I've been doing a lot of studying.
Yeah.
I've been kind of to myself, kind of talking to the ancestors, trying to get in tune with the universe when I'm moving through, because I want to be able to speak with knowledge and understanding, not with emotion. I want to be able to challenge our community in a way that's not threatening, that's not fearful, and something that we can honestly do. If we start chipping and doing some little things together, guys, because when you talk about being present looks like this. Many times my queen and I would say, "How are you doing? I missed you and I was thinking about you." And it could be a friend, a coworker, someone you may not have saw, or a family member. Listen, being present is saying, I'm going to show up, and it's not about the money in my pocket, but I'm going to show up with the time that I have to share with you. The most important commodity on the planet Earth is time. There's no value put on time. And
Mm-hmm.
so since time is so valuable, guys, this is something that we really, really, really could do, guys. When you think about all of the things that's wrapping around us and we don't have time for this, we don't have time for that. If any of you guys think about this morning, how many of you got up this morning that's listening and took a minute to say thank you? To say thank you, thank you.
I did.
Just a minute to just say thank you.
First thing I do every
It's
morning.
just good. See, I appreciate life. Thank you for my family. Thank you for my loved ones. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my community. Thank you for the world.
Yeah.
When we take the time, those simple things, that's being present. Being present also look like being engaged.
Yeah.
A lot of times we be on the phone, on a device, and we're trying, and it's almost cliche, I'm multitasking.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable. If I'm talking to you, I want your 100% attention.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you over there and over there and up there. I want us right here. I want to look you in your eyes so I can feel your energy, because something has been true since the beginning of man being on this planet. You can really tell a lot about a person looking at them in their eyes. A lot of times you have to be trained to be a skillful liar, with the FBI, CIA, or secret agent. They train them to be able to lie, even under all kind of conditions, because most human beings' eyes will give them away as far as what's coming out of their mouth.
Yeah.
In atmosphere where it's going to allow us to really, really dig deep on this concept of being present. Go ahead, my queen.
I was I was researching some things and I was watching a documentary and Miles Davis said time isn't the main thing, it's the only thing.
Ooh,
And I thought about that and I was like, that was so powerful because it is for real.
it is.
We don't even think about how fleeting time is.
No,
And I actually wrote that this morning. I had a this morning I've been trying to make a positive post, and so this morning I made one and I said, "Good morning, y'all. Time. Sheesh, we take it for granted too much. Time is so precious, but it is also fleeting. Make every minute of your life count. Don't waste it being angry, bitter, and most importantly, on the wrong people. But please remember this: it is also important to take time to tell the people you love that you love them while they can hear you. Call your
Mm,
people and tell them you love them now while they are on your mind. You never know when we will be out of time.
wow, that's it. That's beautiful. And so
We don't
I
know.
think we don't know, and I think as ambassadors, it's so important that we have to start helping others to engage in lifting them to, because many of us have been culturally conditioned to believe that we are defined by things. If I don't have the
Mm,
things, and if I'm jealous of your thing, you jealous of my things,
mhm.
we don't have nothing, right?
Absolutely.
Because we're not really building the capacity of legacy in our community. As I said, the North End Food Market is still being built, guys. They spent $35 million on the Capitol Theater, guys. This so-called money, this impact money, or this 94 million, and listen, we gotta stop begging and asking somebody to do for us. I am so through with Negroes, or as Umar Johnson says, Negropeans, right? So those Negropeans, and many of them are in leadership downtown in this community that we live in. There has to be a concerted effort where we are doing some things seriously from the ground up to make some changes happen in our community. And
Hmm.
then across the board, when you look at, I told my sister the other day, that guy, Steve Miller, deputy director for Donald Trump, has a law firm that's going around the country dismantling our rights.
Right.
And we keep wanting to go to the strip club and wear chains to 25 $250,000 or $300,000 worth of chains around our neck. We want to smoke cannabis. We want to drink and turn up. But across the board, police communities around the country are getting worse. Now, how can, being present now, how can we sit back and allow what's going on around the country with the police attacking the black and brown community? It's going on full force.
Mhm.
And when you think about that subtle aggression in stores, at a bar, at a traffic light, Michael Irvin with, you got Jerry Jones 1954 picture, 1957 picture. 1957 picture. Then when you think about it, 55, you got Emmett Till was murdered. And then when you look at 3 hours away from where that picture was taken, where Jerry Jones was stopping those black kids that come into school, 3 hours away was Emmett Till, and then a couple of miles down the road was the other incident with the church bombing, with the girls blowing up in the church. So again, you got a man right now walking around free.
Mhm.
No black person has touched him, has not been present in his life. George Zimmerman is walking around free. Kyle Rittenhouse is walking around free. Those police officers that kill black and brown people every day are walking around free. These people on these TV shows, the Christies, the Happy Christies, or I Love Christie, some kind of white people, they on their way. They on their way to prison. They're going. Listen, being present. They're going to one of the best prisons in the world, y'all. Golf course and everything. Y'all hear me? And they did what apparently fraud, which uh, when you think about Wesley Snipes, when you think about Ron Isley, they went to prison, guys, and they had somebody else doing their taxes. So again, why is this so important, guys? I think it's really important that we've got to stop playing with our lives because our lives are very short. The Queen just said, the time is the only thing. Time we got is the only thing we got, guys. How we gonna move in this? How we gonna move in this planet where we are being hunted daily, and then you have Negro peons on different platforms shucking and jiving, doing the dance for the whites for this place called America KKK. You know, to me, we've got to make some hard choices, guys, as far as boycotting. I do not watch no NFL, no NBA, guys. Not going to do it. I'm good with it. I've gone over people's houses and turned my back to the television. I went to visit a friend of mine in the nurse at the hospital. He had it on. Turned my back. He like, why you doing blah blah blah? I ain't engaging again. They into their thing. I don't try to push my thing on them. I tell them what's going on and let them choose to live the life that they want to do, right? And again, that's all we can do. We can spread the word, give the message, and then what we have to do is work on planting the seed and trying to water it. But our actions have to show up, right? When the lights are off and when nobody's around, what are we really doing? And I think it's appalling when we can say collectively in our community some things we should be doing in our community because locally come first. What's going on around us, this is what's important to us, guys. And Flint, Michigan have done some incredible things in the past, guys. Flint have changed the world. And why can't we be a game changer today, guys? And that's being present. Go ahead, my queen.
I think it's because we have been handed a few peanuts, and they allowed a few of us to live in some places that we weren't able to live before, and we think we have arrived. And we're connected with that. And then
Yes.
for the rest of us that have not, we're afraid to even say something. We're afraid to speak out. We're afraid to pull our children from certain schools because they're not teaching what we need to teach them. We're afraid to pull our money out of certain places because they're not allowing us the same advantages that they are allowing other people, right? We are afraid to do that. We don't stand on anything. So we are fearful about everything. We won't even speak out against someone who did something to us, whether it be physical, mental, or whatever. We won't even speak out about that because we're afraid that they're going to take a couple dollars from us. We're afraid of
Mm-hmm.
the livelihood that they gave to us as opposed to us making our own that they can't take from us.
Right.
And I think that that's sad because we don't we're not present enough to hear people like yourself and myself say,
Hey,
it's
hey,
crazy.
Queen, keep talking. Keep talking. I got to get my door. Keep talking.
I think it's just appalling that we don't listen to the people that are talking about certain things and have tangible action items that we should be going with in order to get some of those things accomplished. And we don't listen, or we get too afraid, or we think they're crazy, or we think it's impossible and they can't do it. And that's unfortunate because it's not. Absolutely nothing is impossible. They started. Just think about the bus boycott. That started out like this and ended up being forever, and they got what they wanted. We are so afraid of doing the things in history that worked. We think that um, we think that it's old. It doesn't matter anymore. We got to stop looking at that. We got to stop thinking about that. We got to stop doing this and we got to stop doing that. However, the thing about it is that it worked. And my thing is that if you are not wanting to be a part of that and you think that it's old, it's outdated, and it doesn't work, then be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem by just saying it doesn't work and not doing anything. We have to be a part of the solution, and we have to sit down at the table with some of those people that want to do it. Here's the thing about it is that so many people are getting older that have been in these fights and have been in these fights for a long time. And we are continuing to say that their ideas are antiquated. It's outdated. We're not doing that. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. But what are you going to do? You can say all day what you're not going to do, but you don't say what you are going to do. Art's not the kind of guy that's around boycotting, but he will. He don't want to. He don't want to march. He don't want to do that. He done said that a million times. I'm tired of marching. I don't want to march. However, he's in action. He's moving. He's making movement. He's doing some things. So therefore, he is part of the solution, not a part of the problem. We can't continue to blame all of this on everybody else and we have no movement. It's just the same as the election. We all are upset about it. People are saying that it was unfair. They were cheating and all these other things, but nobody is speaking out about it. Nobody is calling ABC 12, Fox News, Mid Michigan Now, none of those things. We're not blowing up their phone saying, why we not covering this? Why y'all only touch on this and then move on and act like it's not a thing? We are not doing that. We are not getting together and we are not doing these things because we all should have been calling ABC 12, Mid Michigan Now, Fox News, saying, hey, excuse me, why aren't we covering this? We feel like the election was unfair. Why aren't you covering it? But we're not doing that. We just complain about it. But we got to stop being so hell-bent on condemning people. And I said this the last time. I said the people in these positions in these organizations are getting older. I hear people complaining about the NAACP all the time. These people getting older. They can't have the same movement and the same action. And if you think it's antiquated and it's outdated, then you join it and you be a part of the solution.
Huh?
Can you hear me? Uh-oh, I think you froze, Mick. Uh-oh. Yeah.
He must have went out. I'm waiting on him to come back in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting on him to come back in.
Okay.
I'll put you on front until he come back in.
Yeah. Well, but we have to start doing some things. We got to start having some movement. And we got to quit pointing fingers at everybody else and not having no movement. We just can't do that. You get what I'm saying, Mick?
I hear you. I mean, you can complain if you ain't helping.
We do it all the time. And we have more people complaining than we do helping. That's wild to me. And I had to think about that because I've had some times where I complained about some things and I complained about some people and I was just like, I'm a part of the problem. I'm not a part of the solution. I'm complaining and I'm not sitting at the table. So I had to change up the way that I was thinking and the way that I was moving. And I think we do that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I think we all need to do that.
Yeah, it wouldn't help. That is what he was saying is making sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got to do better, as a people, because you're gonna complain so much. Either you're gonna either you're gonna sit on the porch and get off of it.
Yeah, it's that simple.
Yeah.
And it's not like you got to do like the biggest thing, right? Because people think that it has to be something huge to be impactful. It can be small and be just as impactful as something huge.
Yeah, but I mean, when you get to see the other cities, just to go back on it, when you seeing how Saginaw doing with their opera funds money, how they helping their people, got stuff set up for houses and stuff, and they ain't charging the people. That's what's you know what I'm saying, confusing here.
But we're not complaining about it. We're allowing it to happen.
Yeah.
So what do we do then?
Ain't nothing we can do. All you can do. I mean, you know what? Yes, you can. It's I guess what my mother used to say when you get tired, eventually they get tired. They just not tired right now.
My mama said a monkey get hungry enough he eat cayenne pepper.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They get tired enough. They'll figure it out. See,
Yeah,
right now they ain't figured it out.
yeah.
Certain ones feel like if they eating or they getting something, not looking at the whole picture.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Is the pipes done yet?
Absolutely not.
Mm. Is it still blue tarps on a lot of these houses around here?
Absolutely, it is.
That tells
Absolutely.
you all you need to know.
You see people's driveways all tore up. The streets are all tore up. It's no movement.
Yeah, like Brother Roberts was just saying, it don't make no sense that fires that grocery store not done.
Yeah.
I just seen when Shady Shaw put over 400 million been spent downtown. But I understand what Brother Roberts was saying. 35 million for the Capitol Theater. You mean to tell me you can't get a grocery store up?
And they got that capital together real fast.
I mean,
Real fast.
look, you get what you get. This is what you get.
Absolutely, you do.
They they getting what they get.
You absolutely do.
When you.
And we can't be upset at anybody else about it because we allowing it to happen.
Nah, you can't be upset.
Absolutely, they should have had some new schools built or renovated or
But
and renovated. Yeah, both.
but this my thing with the schools.
Hmm.
I don't believe it should be 5 schools unless I'm missing something.
Okay.
I believe it should be one. There go Brother Rob. It should be one high school. It
I'm
just.
back, guys.
All
Oh,
right.
thank you. Oh, I'm gonna just say this, and I'm finna bag out. This my thing. I don't believe it should be no 5 built schools. I believe it should be one high school, one middle school, and probably an elementary. I mean, you gotta have an elementary. They can be all on one site because I don't think Flint got that many students. I mean, I could be wrong,
To build a
but
college.
yeah, to build 5 schools, unless they finna, unless we finna somehow get another 20 or 30,000 some people influx of that into the city.
Not the way it's being run right now. Ain't coming.
Well, one thing about the school, Mick, I mean, the model has always been schools were relatively to the community. They were community centers, right?
Hmm.
They were like if you remember the mothership from Parliament Funkadelic, and Flint really used to be the mothership, and then you got Grand Blanc Davis and blah blah blah. But when you think about the population, you're right, it's 67% from the heyday of Flint. The population of the students here are 67% lower since the heyday back in the 70s and 80s in Flint as far as population. So it would be conducive because what the key is having one school and a big complex, something like Central, or build something where you have almost every grade because it feeds into the other schools, right? And so that was something that would make sense.
Yeah.
One big school would make sense, but you still need those community centers with
Yeah.
swimming pools and all those kind of things around the community, because when you think about what our children are engaged in, a lot of times our children can be bored and just do stuff to be doing stuff. But if we got community centers where there's all kind of crafts and different things going on at these centers around the city, and you got people in the community that are working and going door to door, meaning this, finding out where these children are and getting them, because a lot of times when things are going on, parents are working 2 or 3 jobs, all that kind of stuff. But if we can develop safe spaces and places for our young people to engage, we could turn the city around, man. You know what I mean? And that's called That's another form of capacity building and
Yeah.
legacy building. When you are building capacity for the community to be healthy, right? North side, east side, west side, south side. So we're building these areas. And again, you can have every kind of opportunity going on, from STEM, from scuba diving, skydiving, I mean tech, coding. There can be art, science. These kids want to make music, make art, poetry, anything you can imagine should be going on at these centers. But you're right. One school starting from pre-K all the way up should be built in Flint. Yes, sir. They need to do that. And I'm with that 100%. And that way, a lot of these people will stop sending their children out to these KKK communities, and then we can start having qualified teachers, black and brown teachers, and those Europeans that are committed to the truth. I'm not saying, when you throw up critical race theory and all that kind of stuff. I'm just saying teaching real, honest history, not trying to say that Christopher Columbus didn't find no anything, never came to America, nothing like that. All I'm saying is not to bash nobody, is not to talk about nobody, is not to put nobody down. I think the truth stands on its own, and that's what we really, and that's really a lot of times for black people in America, that's all we had was the truth.
Right.
We bought into the lie. We bought into white Jesus, white Santa Claus, all this white garbage, man, that's killing us. We eat this white food. The fast food is killing us. All this stuff is poisoning us. And just the other day, you got that boy, Twitch. I mean, you think about it, guys. This boy got a little pocket change. Why would he commit suicide? I'm just saying, you don't know what's going on mentally in our community. And a lot of times it's not being addressed because we won't be present.
Absolutely.
Mick called me up, or Queen called me up. How you doing, Brother Robert? I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing out your pocket. How you doing? And then I'm going to say how I'm doing honestly. I ain't going to lie to them.
Yeah.
I ain't going to be faking and saying, listen here, I'm having a good day if I'm not having a good day. I'm not going to put no pink paint on nothing if I'm not feeling pinky. You know what I mean? If I'm got some issues, I'm gonna share it with my queen. I'm gonna say, this is what's going on. Get some vibrations from my queen. Absolutely. And so it's those kind of things when we talk about being present. And then it falls right into our community, because to me, if y'all look at the pageantry that was taking place today down in Burston. So you got all those people going down to Burston. Now, where's all those people when we doing things in the community, guys? Even with voting. Right. Where are those people going? Where they at when we voting, y'all?
Right.
With the city council, y'all.
Absolutely.
We're going to show up when we dead, right? Go ahead, Queen.
Brother Roberts, I said on the show a couple weeks ago, I said I had gone down to city council. Nobody was there. That was that day that Eva Worthen and Jasmine had that altercation.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Because I'm like, you know what? I come down here straight out of work after working 12 and 13 hours of work. Come straight down here. Sit down here, listen to all this madness and everything, fighting for someone, and the people that actually live in that city won't come and do it. I'm fighting harder for the people that live there. And I don't. And I said, I can't keep doing this. If y'all not going to come and y'all not going to do this,
right,
live at, why should I? I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to keep coming down there, wasting my time, doing all these things when there's nobody that's standing with me.
Nobody.
No.
And you don't suppose to.
All the time.
Right.
A couple people come here and there, but we should be packing those seats out.
Packing it out.
But let some type of some function go on. We'll pack it out.
You know what? And see what's going on, Queen. Y'all don't realize, Mickey, you don't realize what's going on. Do you know Judge Fullerton is working for the prosecuting office now?
We just talked about
y'all
that.
Think about that, man. You got those retired judges down there in the prosecuting office as opposed to some young African-American lawyers just getting on working in the prosecuting office. You got you call nepotism. So you got these retired evil people in the prosecuting office, and we don't do nothing about that. See, we don't care. See, the law continues to slap us in the face right here in Flint. You got a mayor that should be charged with conspiracy to murder. You got John Gleason and that Farrah. He's always been a rapist. That Judge Ferris has always been an atrocious, just like, and I hate to put him on Front Street, but Nate Perry ain't no better, to be honest with you, on the real tip. Flat out, ain't no better. And so again, what we engage in is we're not focusing on the big picture. We're so caught up in capitalism that all we want is the thing, and then we don't want to be human beings. We don't want to be engaged in the hard work. Like the Queen say, the city hall should be packed out. There's no way in the world where we sit down there at 10 or 11 o'clock before the community is heard. The community should be heard at 5:30.
Yeah.
And then y'all go and play your games, and if y'all want to talk about each other. The community should be heard, number one, because we, number one, pay their salary. And then just like with Mayor, that Stanley guy, that Neely guy, the police didn't back him, right? So the police didn't support him. Nah, he gonna be so foul because they didn't support him. He's blocking some things that's supposed to happen at the police department. And see, that's the games politicians play, because it's not about the people, because the people are not demanding that we be treated humanely. We are not demanding. There's nowhere in the world we should be suffering like we are still with this water. There's nowhere in the world where Governor Snyder should be off the hook, and those minions that was working for Snyder, all of them should be in jail. There's nowhere in the world in this community where we should be supporting the culture center, anything downtown, anything at whatever those restaurants downtown, anything going on downtown that we should not be supporting. Back to the bricks, bike to the bricks, jump on the bricks, under the bricks, through the bricks. We shouldn't be supporting nothing downtown. And we should be building the north side. That's what we should be working on. And we should be building it by capacity of ourselves. Absolutely. We need to get these ex athletes that came out of Flint. We need to call them up. We need to get these young men and women on board. Carissa Shields, all of them got to get on board, guys, where we building businesses, community, housing, everything we need, schools on the north side. Since they don't want to be around us, they always Karen and Ken want to call the police on us. Let's get our own little area, guys. Let's segregate.
That's the one thing, and I say that all the time. Dr. Umar says some things that I'm not always in agreement with, but that right there, I'm in agreement with that.
Yes.
We were better to each other, and we were better to ourselves when we were segregated.
Yes, ma'am.
Look at the history.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We were
yes,
better.
Ma'am. Yeah.
We did so
and right now, you know, these Europeans are being emboldened. I mean, across the board, I'm talking about in every business, professionally, they are making a point that you are going to tap dance and you're going to sing if you want our crumbs, because the athletes are getting crumbs. Anytime you get $200 or $300 million from a white person that owns $1 billion team, they don't care nothing about you. Nothing about you.
And you're not the only one. They paying 15 of y'all that.
Come on now. Colin Kaepernick was right. You got these Negro peons, Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith, and it's just, they are deplorable, man. I mean, I just don't understand how they could walk down the street or be allowed to go in any black community and be received. I just don't get it. I don't get it how they can just float and there's no consequence. You know what I mean? We'll kill each other for nothing, but these house Negroes can smile and tap dance and disrespect the legacy of our ancestors. Because anytime we talk against one another, guys, anytime we hurt one another, anytime we're not present with one another, we are disrespecting our ancestors. Nat Turner, and the list go on and on. I heard my queen talking about the NAACP here in Flint. Unacceptable. It is a shame, it's a joke, and it's atrocity. Those people, Miss Gill, it listen here, man. Just like in Congress, you got the Black Caucus right now. Many of them are in their late 70s and early 80s, just holding on. We Black people, our problem is we never been able to control or run anything, right? So when we get in a position of power, that's why a lot of these judges and everybody hold on forever, because that's some pseudo power. So you got these congressmen and congresswomen that's been up there and they made nothing change. They made no dent, and they holding on to their seat, as opposed to letting a young person or bringing a young person up so they can be progressive and get some things done. And that's something that is our fault, that we're not holding these people accountable and then challenging them. And that's what we have to do collectively with one another. Now, I would like to say, on my journey with this hip replacement, I've there's been a lot of research. My little sister had both her hips done. I've been to several different doctors. I've chose Beaumont. I never get anything done here in Flint, Michigan. When I first came home from prison, I fell out. I was working out in Howell, Michigan, and I passed out and dealing with a brain tumor. And they opened me up. This Dr. Lopez opened me up, and they had to rush me down to Detroit, down to Hopper Hospital, DMC, which saved my life because so that shows you about the expertise in Flint, Michigan. So if any of you guys have anything going on, your family members, your loved ones, get them out of Flint or get a second or third opinion somewhere else. I'm very, very, very respectful with Henry Ford Hospital is doing some phenomenal work. I chose Beaumont because of their legacy dealing with hip and knee replacement. They got an excellent record. And so I've had some, some days it's not worse as it is on some days that I can't move. I did have a lot of anxiety, some fear, asked a lot of questions. And then concerning my rehab, one of the doctors said because I didn't smoke and I'm pretty healthy, that I would be a good candidate if I did what they said to do, that I could have a full recovery. Don't rush it. I told him I wanted to go skating. I got a skating date I got to make. And the doctor looked at me like, can you skate? I was like, I used to know how to skate. He said, no, we want to, if you go, he said, hold on to the, how the kids had a little roller things, the little, he say, he told me he want me to I got to bring the walker with me. He said, get one of those skate walkers and get down there on it because we don't want you to fall on the hip that we put on you, right? I said, I ain't got no problem using the walk on the skating ring, right? I'm good with it.
Yeah.
And he just fell out laughing, So that's the kind of humor you got to have moving into something that's real serious, And I just asked our community, I just think that we need to start being honest with one another. I'm 66 years old, and I think it's very important when we look at Brother Nolan. So, for him to have a heart attack, he did have some health issues. He had been losing weight. And those should be a wake-up call for all of us to start eating better, exercising more. If we're smoking cigarettes, we got to work on quitting. If we're drinking excessively, we need to cut down. We need to cut out fast food, guys. I'm going to tell y'all, right now they got me on. When I was going earlier, I had to make a run, and I had to relieve myself because they got me on this stuff to remove my bowels, you know what I mean, going under surgery. They don't want me pooping all over the surgeons, right? So, I had to take care of some surgical business. So what we got to do is be present with one another, start talking truth to one another, not lying to each other as far as how we are dealing with some issues, some health issues, because a lot of times that's what happens in our life. What happens a lot of times, we won't talk. We won't talk the good talk, but we'll share mess. We'll share gossip. We share hatred. We share all this other stuff as opposed to something that's gonna give me life, that's gonna be presence in my life, that's gonna give me hope, that's gonna allow my vibration to go to the next level. Yeah. But if it's somebody saying, if we talking about somebody, or talking about this girl, or talking about this guy, or talking about he ain't no good or she ain't no good, they build that up. But when it comes to our bodies, we don't want to talk about that. Right. When it comes to our health, when it comes to our eating, oh, I'm going to eat pork. I don't care what you say. My grandmother lived at 91 years old. Oh, yeah. She was lucky. She was lucky. She lived at 91 eating pork. Oh, I ate pork all my life. Well, I did this red meat. I mean, it's been proven, guys. And if you go back in history and read your history, at one time, we didn't eat no meat at all, guys. We come from Africa. Our ancestors, they did not eat meat in Africa. There wasn't no cows. We wasn't hunting no cows or nothing in Africa, y'all. We wasn't hunting no lions and eating no lions and none of that kind of stuff. Right. We was eating rice and vegetables and fish and all that kind of stuff, and beans and nuts. That's right. That's what we was engaged in, guys. And then we was active because we walked everywhere. We wasn't riding around in our Lexus and our Maybach. That's right. We didn't have no $500,000. I think it's the most disgusting thing. We got these young people run with $250,000 worth of jewelry. Right. Who do that? Yeah. And then you gonna go out and somebody gonna jack you? Yeah. You gonna go get jacked. Yeah. You in the club with a $2 million watch on. Who gonna know it's $2 million in the first place?
And probably can't even tell time on it.
And probably can't even read the name. I mean, that's so sad. So, one thing we're going to be doing periodically is that I'm going to give you my health updates as we progress. And then after this surgery for my hip, I'm going to be dealing with my stage 2 prostate cancer. And that's right now I'm looking at Cancer Center of America in Chicago. Okay. After some of my rehabilitation, I'm gonna go down there for 3 days to get another opinion as far as what I'm gonna choose to do to deal with this prostate. Okay. Some of the side effects, especially with radiation, is urine. May have to wear a bag. No longer erection. They talk about pumps and all that kind of stuff. So it can be, radiation. What it does is it radiates the kidney, gallbladder, the rectum. It attacks all that area up in there, guys. You know what I mean? I know I talked to one brother. He said it took about 5 years before he was able to pee regularly without any blood and not in a bag, guys. He did say his erection came back a little bit with a little help. So I just think that I want to encourage our men in the community that's 45 and up. Please go get your PSA check every year. Don't be ashamed. Tell your grandfather, your uncle, your cousin, any men and women, you guys start telling your men, please go get checked. Do not wait until the last minute. And don't just go with one opinion. Get 3 opinions. One thing we got to move is not in fear. Let's don't move in fear. That's right. If we move in knowledge, then you can make a really educated understanding about what choices you have. Technology has done some fabulous things, guys. When you think about technology today, and a lot of things they're doing today, started from somewhere. Go ahead, my queen.
Absolutely. We need to make sure that we are encouraging people to like you said, eat right, drink water, exercise, have a yearly checkup. Also with that, going to the dentist. Go to the dentist. A lot
Yes,
happens first in your mouth. They figure out a whole lot of stuff from just your mouth and your teeth. So go to the dentist. Make sure that you are making
yes,
appointments and going every 6 months. Change your toothbrush out. Make sure you're doing all of those things. There's a lot of things that we can be doing on our end to help ourselves, and we need to do that.
yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes, yes. And and then as my sister was talking about what Miles said about time
Mhm.
is all we have. And
Say,
when you think about that, it's the only thing we have, guys.
yeah,
How we choose to use it
yeah,
is critical to us. And we already saw some examples, guys. Most of you guys have been alive 30, 40, 50 years, guys. Do we want to live another 30, 40, 50 years like we've been living?
right.
Why don't we really, really be present in one another's, in each other's life, and
Absolutely.
let's start making some real changes between ourselves, and then really, really working on some things that we really can do to heal our community.
Absolutely.
Because our children are crying out. Our children are crying out, and it's appalling to me the number of people that's committing suicide. The number of people that are committing suicide today, guys. I'm not going to say I don't have no statistics. I will check those out. As far as the levels as it was 10 years ago, I'm feeling around me after COVID, what COVID did,
It's
coming out of COVID,
absolutely.
yes, it's been some deep, 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 deep hurt. And some people have been so disconnect, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think we need to really, really, really horn in on how we can start really being honest with each other, checking in on each other, being present with each other, being real honest with each other, not accepting each other's crap. A lot of time oh, that's brother Roberts. Just let him. No, no, no. Check me on me. Check me on me, please. I don't want to be out here with boogers in my nose.
And I know that's
Check me on me. If I got toilet paper on my shoes, check me out. Brother Robert, you got toilet paper on your shoes? Holler at me.
yeah,
And I think that's something that we got to start not being so vindictive to one another and so uptight. I can't say nothing to you. You can't say nothing to me. Come on, say something to me.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So before we close out, I want to say thank you, my queen.
Absolutely.
I will definitely, like I say, 6:45 Monday. I will be under the knife,
And we will be praying.
howling, I'll be howling. Look, I'll be knocked out, but I'll be howling. No, I'm just kidding. That's terrible.
We're gonna be praying.
Yeah, please pray for the brother.
Absolutely, we will. Well, with
Yeah.
that said, you all make sure that you at 6:45 on Monday that you all are touching and agreeing with all of us for Brother Roberts for his for a speedy recovery, a safe surgery, and him to be back out here doing all the things that we love to see him doing. Um,
Yes, ma'am.
make sure that we are continuing to support each other, continuing to love on each other. Make sure that you're doing everything in love and with love. Make sure that you are eating healthy. You are exercising at least 30 minutes a day. You are drinking your water. You are washing your hands. Stay healthy, everybody. Stay healthy. Congratulations, Darius. Um, baby shower. He has another baby on the way. He has a baby shower tomorrow. Um,
Another baby? He like Nick Cannon, huh?
boy, he is. Yeah, he going at it. He said.
Go, Derek. Nick Cannon. He building a tribe. He making a tribe. He gonna have a basketball. No, he gonna have a football team, right?
He said, "Be fruitful and multiply." So that's what he's doing.
Holla,
He said, "Move up.
holla,
It's a new king in town."
holla, 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 holla.
Yeah. So
Yeah, make sure name him after me.
there you go. At least give him Naeem. I love the name Naeem.
At least give him Naeem, please. Middle name Naeem, Darius, please, brother. Got to have it.
Yes,
Yeah, I want to leave that legacy. Got to leave that legacy, guy.
that's
Yeah,
right.
make it middle name Naeem. I love it.
That's right. And with that said, I love you all. I love you
Love
all.
you all.
You know I love you.
Yes, ma'am.
We're gonna continue
Wakanda out.
Wakanda out.
And